Good morning guys, and welcome back to my allotment. It's just a quickie today. I've got about half an hour to spare that I can come here to the allotment and get a few bits and pieces done. So I thought I'd challenge myself to see if I can get all of my tomatoes planted out at the allotment in the 30 minutes, and also to get everything watered. Let's take a quick look at the beds and see what kind of state they're in first. I should also say that I've only got about 14% battery left, so I'm not going to be able to record that much, but I thought best to put out a video even if it's quite short. Okay, let's take a look here. So lettuce, suffering in the heat, need to get that watered. Bit worried that that might bolt. Carrots are kind of doing okay. The blood red beetroot leaf is doing fine. Lovely little patch of flowers, and the occasional weed in the middle here are flowering, and that's a great thing to have in this polyculture bed. It's a great thing to have anyway because of the pollinators that will be attracted to it. This has come through. I don't know if this is chamomile or not because of the way the petals are falling downwards. I don't remember sowing that or planting it. The spinach has completely bolted, so I will just chop that off and take that home with me today, and we'll have to re-sow some of that. The onions aren't doing great, but they're surviving, so we'll leave those there. Lovely poppy in the centre here, so that's all looking good. Gooseberry bush dying, going to have to figure out something for that. There's some calendula that's coming up really strongly. The parsley is now going to seed. That's parsley from last year, so that's kind of acceptable. I kind of understand that that's going to go. The stuff at home didn't last as long as this one actually, and has already kind of gone to seed. So I might take a load of that home along with the spinach. Fennel's fine. The garlic is getting very, very close to picking. It might even be in the next video. The peas, like I said, I've just kind of left them to it now. Although, looking a little bit closer, they're looking a lot healthier than they did before. So I might come over with some mesh or something, some twigs, and just create a bit of a support for them and see if we can actually get something from them. Interestingly, this spinach, oh, actually no, I think this is chard. This is either perpetual spinach or chard. That's actually looking fine. We've got the odd potato coming through, more poppies, this kind of light green foliage is from a poppy. These carrots look amazing compared to the other ones. I need to look up which variety is which, because these ones, they look incredible. Let's check what I planted in my archway. The beans, yeah, beans are looking okay. Beans are actually starting to climb up the string a little bit. Oh, they need watering. They're drying out somewhat, as you would expect in this weather and the amount of neglect that they've faced. Yeah, the ones over there are looking a bit sad. The clematis and the passion flower are surviving, as are the cosmos that I planted out. Everything just needs a massive soak. Oh my gosh, look, the roses are, oh, just treading on a cosmos. The roses are coming out. Oh, wow, gorgeous, gorgeous. And the lavender's starting to get some heads on it. And then we've got some nigella that's threatening to burst. Poppies, California poppies, the bees. Gosh, I mean, this Phacelia is just going to come up year after year from now on, and it's just great for the pollinators. I won't grow quite so much of it in future, but it's still great. And all the alliums are out in amongst all of this grass. I need to, oh, and there's the lovely Aquilegia. Oh, I need to weed. I need to pull out all of the grass from around these alliums, and then they can just stay there, come back every year. We'll ignore that rhubarb. That is the one I'm keeping. This one's going to get dug up at some point soon. Let's see what's happening in my direct sown bed. Right, oh, interesting. We have finally got some lettuce coming through on this row here, but that's kind of it. I don't know what was in this row, but nothing's really happening. And then, oh, this one has been chewed to you know what. This had this had turnips along this row, and they have all been eaten. So I have to think of a way of protecting those, because they will come back. The centres, oh that's a weed, the centres of them will come back. And definitely absolutely no sign of leaks. But these rows, oh look what's been eaten here as well. I don't think that's snails and slugs, I think that's the birds. Because we've got radishes looking fab, beetroot looking fab. This was Mitsuna. But why would birds peck at Mitsuna? Perhaps that is slugs and snails. I don't know, but I need to protect it again because it will probably grow back. And then there's loads more radishes at the end there, which are looking fantastic, but will probably need thinning out now. So yeah, let's give everything a soaking and yeah, get these tomatoes in. Okay, so wave one of the watering has been done. So I've done it sort of once as soon as I've got here, and then, oh, low battery notification. I've done it once as soon as I get here, and then I'll do it again just before I leave. It's clay soil, so if I soak it, it just forms puddles and then forms a hard crust. Whereas if I go over it kind of like a reasonable soaking once, then a gap, then the next soaking, that tends to work better. So what I'm going to do now is put the canes in the ground that the tomatoes are going to grow up. And I don't think I can film it because I've dashed over here. I haven't brought my tiny little like tripod that I use for that type of thing. So I'll just have to show you some before and after footage. Right, so I've made a bit of a pig's ear of this. This is not great tomato planting because, first of all, I couldn't get these canes in particularly deep, and that's because they're really old, and as I was pushing them in, they were starting to split. But I figure this will do to be getting on with, and I can always buy some new ones and put them in quite kind of close by and just reinforce. I'm going to call it a structure. It's not structurally sound, but it is a structure. And then down here I've planted out my tomatoes. Again, in a bit of a hurry, not particularly evenly spaced. That one should have been about 5 inches across, but anyway, could have actually just used the canes as a guide. But sometimes we do silly things when we're in a hurry. So we've got one, that's actually 2 in there, but we'll say kind of like 3 Saint-Pierre. These are just like a regular sized tomato. They are a French heirloom variety, and my mum grew them last year and they were really nice. I have then got 2 beefsteak Marmande tomatoes. Marmande and the other one that I'm going to show you in a minute are my favourite beefsteak tomatoes to grow. I just love the flavour of them. So that's about 5 along there, and then there is a 6th one in here, which is my other kind of top favourite beefsteak, which is called Brutus, and they are meant to grow absolutely enormous, but they never do for me, I guess because I'm usually growing them in pots. This is the first time really I've put tomatoes out properly at the allotment, so maybe they will be bigger this year. But can you see how small my plants are? Nothing has grown properly this year whatsoever, and I don't have a greenhouse. I have like a little poly greenhouse thing outside in the back garden with a few shelves in it, and you know, I've got a very cold kitchen, which is the only room I can really put seeds in. And so it has just been an absolute struggle trying to get anything even to that size this year, just because of cold weather. And it's been quite, well, it was quite damp until recently, and now everything's drying out. So it's just been, you know, as usual, every year is a completely different test of your ability to, you know, germinate and raise plants and grow them on. So it's fine. I'm looking at it as a challenge. And that's all I've got time for today. It was such a quick trip to the allotment, but everything's had a double soaking. I'm tempted to go around for a 3rd time. I might do that in a minute. I'm going to go and pick that spinach and some of that parsley, and that will all kind of get dug up next time I'm here. There's a lot of weeding to be getting on with when I come back next time, and I've got that potato bed to finish as well. Plus I'm hoping that I'm going to order another one of the metal arches, and so I can kind of join two together and form a tiny little tunnel for me to hide in and grow some veg up and over. But yes, thank you for stopping by for this incredibly quick visit to the allotment. I'm trying to just get videos out regularly now, rather than worrying about how long they are and how good they are. Let's just get some stuff out there so that you guys can see the progress that I'm making, and that the vegetables are making, and the flowers, and you know, some of it is looking amazing. I can't wait to dig that garlic up and see how well the supermarket garlic has done. Anyway, I'm waffling, so I'm gonna go now, and I will see you again very soon.